A look at the Reunion Tower in Dallas, Texas, as the scene has shifted for Game 3 of the Western Conference Final Series. We welcome you to American Airlines Center for the San Antonio Spurs and the Dallas Mavericks. Similar to San Antonio, it is a great atmosphere for basketball here in Dallas. Hi, everybody. I'm Marv Albert along with Jeff Van Gundy, the czar, Mike Fratello. And Jeff, it's been a bizarre start to this series. A total of 72 personal fouls, along with 98 free throws attempted in Game 1. In Game 2, 7 technical fouls and 2 ejections. What is going on here?
Well, I think both teams have been disconcerted by the officials. But for the Mavericks, the real problem is they've been playing from behind. In Game 1, they were down 18. Game 2, they were down 28. They need to get off to a better start to win here at home.
Well, don't be surprised if you see San Antonio get off to a great start. Keep in mind they had the best road record in the league, 27-14. At one point, they won 9 straight road games and then set an NBA record by winning 18 of their last 20 road games this season. So it would not be unlikely that they win one here.
A look at MVP Tim Duncan, who is off to a terrific start in this series. The starting lineups for the Spurs: Duncan and Bowen up front, David Robinson the center. Steven Jackson was a question mark, as Craig Sager reported earlier. He is in the lineup despite the flu. Tony Parker at the other guard. Mavericks with Rafe LaFrentz remaining as the starter. Michael Finley, Dirk Nowitzki at the forwards. Roger Bell and Steve Nash are in the backcourt. And the officials: Dan Crawford, Bob Delaney, and Bill Spooner, as we get set for Game 3. In Game 2, San Antonio led by as many as 28, but Dallas came back. They were within 8 with 5 minutes remaining. Tony Parker controlling the opening tip. And French opening up on Duncan. Jackson played by Finley. Parker guarded by Bell. And Nowitzki on Robinson. Here's Parker. Gives it up. Robinson. And the Spurs get the new shot clock.
I like the strategy of going to David Robinson early against Nowitzki, trying to pick up fouls and get Robinson involved.
Here's Bowen. Yes, Bruce Bowen hits on a runner.
Already we've seen 2 times that the Spurs have had a possession that they've initiated their offense by putting the ball on the floor, penetrating the Dallas defense.
Nash to the crossover, lost it. Nowitzki able to recover. Nowitzki had some difficulty with Bowen, but then it's tipped home by LaFrentz. Rafe LaFrentz with the first bucket for the Mavericks. And we have played 1 minute and 15 without a whistle. Shot clock down to 5. Duncan has a beautiful quick release.
Very similar to the basket he made in Game 2 when it was an 8-point game and they needed a big bucket. That's the jumper he shot and hit.
LaFrentz coming up short. Robinson is on it. Roger Bell went flying. The shot selection greatly improved here by San Antonio at the start. Duncan forcing and fouled by Finley. Talking with Greg Popovich earlier, he said we took questionable shots in the first quarter in Game 2.
Well, Tim Duncan has a switch. Finley playing him is much smaller. Duncan uses the pump fake, then leans in, initiates the contact, goes to the line for 2.
And you saw Nash come quickly on the double team. Don Nelson believes his team has to double team quicker, be more decisive to get the ball out of Duncan's hands.
Duncan 10 of 13 from the line after missing 7 in Game 1. Remember, San Antonio, after the 4 foul shooting in Game 1, hit their first 24 at the free throw line in Game 2. We asked Popovich about that. What was his reaction? He says, I was shocked. This is not a good free throw shooting team. They're 26th in the league at 73%. Shot clock to 5. Both clubs very careful with the ball here at the start, and it's a 24-second violation.
Dirk Nowitzki just throwing it literally over his head, not even looking at the basket. It did hit the backboard, but missed the rim, so you get the 24-second violation. I think what you see happening right now is these teams now know each other pretty well. They know what the game plan is. It's going to be much more difficult to get easy looks at the basket.
And I think the Bowen matchup on Nowitzki is key for San Antonio, but it can be manipulated by Nelson by bringing in Nick Van Exel.
Foul on LaFrentz, who did not agree with that call. Rates LaFrentz in foul difficulty the other night. Nice pass from Parker. Robinson shot blocked, but Duncan is right there. So the Spurs off to a 7-2 lead.
Two-man game. Parker whipping the ball right back to Robinson. Initial rejection, followed by Tim Duncan.
Oh, the old whip pass came out from a different source.
You rarely see it that early.
Yes.
I'll tell you what you're going to see in about another minute. You're going to see Nick Van Exel getting up off the bench for Dallas entering this game.
Although Nick has been very quiet first two ball games. Here's Roger Bell. Reminder, a live TNT NBA Spanish language feed is now available via SAP. They double up on Duncan. Duncan. Back comes Nowitzki. Finley has played very well in the first two games. But he moves on Duncan and then lost it.
And Duncan, pretty good job of holding his ground, not letting Finley turn the corner.
Robinson is fouled by Nash. So Steven Jackson taking advantage of the mismatch.
Transition offense. Get one of those two big men down the floor in a hurry. You see Nash across the arms, making sure that Robinson can't get it up there, make the layup, and then get a three-point play.
And Greg Popovich has to be ecstatic with Jackson passing up what would have been a contested three in transition to go inside. It not only gets Robinson to the free throw line, it takes Dallas out of any transition opportunity.
You come down and shoot quick, hurry three-pointers. You don't make them. You've got a team, especially Dallas, running right down your throat the other way and probably outnumbering you on the break.
San Antonio with a 9-4 lead, 4 minutes in. First quarter, game 3 of this Western Conference final series. LaFrentz blocked by Duncan. And Tim Duncan handling the ball very well. Robinson, whoa. That's a new one out of the repertoire. It's kept alive. Duncan trying to go cross court, hit the side of the glass. So the ball back to Dallas.
See if there's a little shove here. First we see Robinson tip the ball. Let's see if Duncan is pushed or shoved out of bounds here in this particular case. I would say he just lost his balance, went out of bounds. That's all. What you don't like that, do you?
I don't know. Anymore, I'm not even sure. But I'll tell you one thing. What else do you want Tim Duncan
You have to be decisive here. Wait a second.
I just don't know what a foul is anymore. He got pushed out of bounds. That's a foul. No force out. But down here, Duncan guards Finley one-on-one, blocks the shot, leads the break, dunks over the top of somebody. Man, what else do you want him to do?
Nice pass, but Nowitzki's shot was blocked. And Nowitzki having words with the official, Danny Crawford. Finley took it out of the hands of Duncan. Here's Finley for three. Yes.
You know, Jeff, game one, there's 98 total free throws between the two teams. You complain that there's too many and the game is too long. Now a guy falls out of bounds and it's got to be a foul for somebody who's breathing on it. I'm not sure where you're coming from.
Why is your anger always directed at me? Why can't it be somebody else?
It has been.
It's only you and me here, guys.
Duncan able to recover. And Don Nelson is upset. Meanwhile, Roger Bell beats San Antonio on the transition. And the Spurs are upset with each other.
And that's what happens when you're cross-matched. Duncan guards Bell at the defensive end, but down here, LaFrentz is guarding Duncan, so someone has to protect until Duncan can get back.
Nice move by Parker. Tony Parker with that heel drop after penetrating. Open shot for Rafe LaFrentz. Rafe has the good touch from the perimeter, brings Dallas within 2. And the tone of this game, far different than what we saw in games 1 and 2. LaFrentz with the steal. Here comes Bell again. He thought he was fouled. Well, we're not getting the whistles here at the start. And you can hear the reaction from the crowd.
But Bob Delaney told Bell in no uncertain terms on the way back, that'll be his last complaint.
Duncan, yes. Tim Duncan with 9 of San Antonio's 15 points.
Best thing that Dallas can do right now is just continue to play. The head coach, Don Nelson, is calm and relaxed. He's trying to get them to forget about the call. Play offense, play defense. Let the referees do the call. We're not going to win that battle tonight.
First field goal for Nowitzki. Well, many of the Dallas players came out after game 2 as Bowen knocks down the 3 and said we lost our composure. We just lost it early on. Don Nelson was ejected. Players complaining about most calls that were being made. And they went down by 28 points. And then came back. Duncan got a piece of it. And again, the crowd looking for a foul. Just under 5 minutes remaining in this first quarter. Robinson had it knocked away. Last touch by the Spurs. Timeout is called. Tim Duncan off to the fast start. 9 points, 4 rebounds, 2 blocked shots. And the Mavericks trailing the Spurs by 5.
Finals, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. More than 2,700 non-stop daily flights to 59 destinations all across the country. Heineken, it's all about the beer. Heineken. The Hulk. On June 20th, experience the incredible. And Verizon Wireless. Verizon Wireless. We never stop working for you.
Welcome back to American Airlines Center. Well, as you guys know, the new head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, Bill Parcells, has been a regular at Mavericks games here in Dallas and kind of fashions himself as an NBA strategist. Here are the Tuna's thoughts from the Cowboys camp.
Hi, just wanted to pass along some NBA insight from over here at Valley Ranch. You know, a lot of people think Dirk and Duncan are the keys to these series. But as you know, just like in football, the keys would be the signal callers or point guards. Steve Nash and Tony Parker have to run the show while being threats to score. This opens up opportunities for the other guys. As usual, the backup is always the wild card. See Nick Van Exel. But defense wins championships in football and basketball. So it may come down to the disciplined interior D of the Spurs versus the creativity of the Maverick zone. How was that, Czar? You got that ham and egg operation ready to broadcast tonight? Let's go.
You guys spent some time with Bill at Valley Ranch yesterday on sharing some X&O philosophy.
We spent a couple hours out there, and it was just a wonderful afternoon to watch them go through the paces. In the NFL, if a new coach comes in, they're allowed to have 3 mini camps during the course of the summer. Well, Coach Parcells decided to combine it. He's just making it one longer one, and that'll be it. But a lot of work getting done.
And he's one of the great coaches in team sport history, but he's giving us tips. I think he should use the 2-gap defense defensively.
Roger Bell brings the Mavericks within 3.
Why did you chase him out of the broadcast booth? He was enjoying it. He did a great job. And you chased him away. Why?
You know, these things seem to happen. I don't understand that. As Michael Finley hauls down the rebound. Actually, when Bill was my broadcast partner for the NFL on NBC, as Nowitzki fires. We used to play NBA trivia. He's very knowledgeable, although he would change the rules depending on how he would be doing. What, do you feel that there other people are about to be chased? Is that what you are indicating here?
Well, you've had that effect, you know.
Bowen not able to hit from downtown. Now Finley met by Ginobili, who just checked in. Nowitzki backing his way on Malik Rose, who just came on. He thought that he was fouled. Nowitzki 1 of 6 here at the start. They double up on Rose, and LaFrance ties him up.
You can see that, as Jeff said earlier, San Antonio is not expecting Dallas to come as quick and as hard as they are in the double teams. They've made a decision, no in-between guessing. That's what Dallas had done last game. I think Don Nelson went back and said they didn't like it. It took some of the aggressiveness away. They're going and rotating.
And think about it, from Malik Rose's standpoint, how often is he double teamed? So here he's doubled on his first catch in the post. He's not expecting it. Turnover.
Nick Van Exel on the floor for the first time has not shot the ball well. San Antonio has done an excellent job against Van Exel with a combination of Ginobili and Bowen. Ginobili called for the foul. That's the Spurs' first foul. First foul called on San Antonio, and we played nearly 9 minutes. Nick Van Exel only 8 of 28 over the first 2 games following the magnificent series against Sacramento. And Van Exel fouled again by Ginobili.
And instead of throwing it towards the rim, he wound up passing it to his teammate. So instead of them giving shots, they take it out the side. He gets Ginobili in the air, jumps in. Now he's got to shoot it. Instead, he passes it at the end, so they will not get shots out of this. Instead, they'll get a side-out possession. Normally, Van Exel would have gotten that up there somehow.
And I don't think it's a foul. Again, I think the offensive player there is jumping into the defender to create contact. The defender has the right to go up and down.
Shot clock to 2. LaFrance got it off on time, but rebounded by Rose. Rick Rose coming off an outstanding game in San Antonio in game 2. Here's Ginobili from downtown. And Duncan is on it. Parker penetrates. One-handed rebound by Van Exel. The Mavericks need Nick Van Exel to regain the touch. Nowitzki. That's the way it has gone for Dirk. 1 of 7.
He's taking some difficult shots. Here's Rose cutting inside. See if he can get it up with 3 white jerseys around him. But Nowitzki's problem has been he's had poor shot selection, actually.
Here's Bell, and he is fouled. Foul on Duncan. That's the first on Duncan.
Probably the body contact came down low from behind on this, because up on top, it looks like Duncan gets it clean from behind.
Steven Jackson is now on the bench for San Antonio, but according to team physician Dr. Paul Science, he's showing no ill effects from the nausea that bothered him all day. One change to the rotation, Kevin Willis has moved up. He possibly could get some of those minutes if Jackson doesn't go the entire second half. He also is expected to get the minutes that normally go to Danny Ferry. Ferry's been struggling with his shot and also having trouble defensively. Cheryl?
Thanks a lot, Craig. Before the game, I spoke to Michael Finley. He said the 2 keys tonight in order to beat the Spurs are the 2 keys that everyone is talking about. Number 1 is the quick start. He said we have to play with a sense of urgency from the opening tip-off. That hasn't happened. Number 2, we've got to let the officials officiate. We can't get caught up in bad calls, non-calls. We just simply have to play our game. One quick injury update. Eduardo Nahara, who did not play in Game 2 because of his bruised right thigh, will play tonight. He said he's still in a lot of pain, but he will be ready to go, Mark.
All right, Cheryl, and Don Nelson telling us earlier that Eduardo Najarado is a very important player in this series because he is the one guy who could handle Malik Rose. And Malik Rose with an outstanding game on Wednesday night. 25 points, 19 in the first half for Rose. Coming up on a minute and a half remaining in the first. 3-second violation, so the ball will go back to Dallas.
One of Don Nelson's concerns is the fact that San Antonio passes the ball so well. They throw a lot of passes. They're very good. They're skilled players at making good passes. As a result, that time Duncan got caught and they're waiting a little bit too long for that one extra pass.
6 turnovers the last 5.5 minutes committed by the Spurs. Here's Bell getting a screen. Roger Bell, who provided offense against Sacramento, has 9 points in this first quarter.
And they feel they have to double Nick Van Exel and Tony Parker starting him. That's good ball rotation, good screen by LaFrance, and a knockdown J by Bell.
Jackson with the air ball. Finley wanted to shoot for 3, but Jackson did not give him room. And now Parker playing Van Exel. Notice Van Exel not forcing the issue. LaFrance rebounded by Rose.
Rose also, Marv, when he's in the middle of the floor, Van Exel, they can't come and double him as easily as they can when he goes down in the low post area and tries to overpower Tony Parker.
10 on the shot clock. Now 20 seconds in the quarter. Again, the double on Duncan. Out of 3 on the shot clock. Here's Ginobili. It is a 24-second violation. Ginobili's shot not making contact with the rim.
You see these two teams have zeroed it in on the scouting report. The game plans have kind of fallen in place now. A little tinkering after games 1 and 2. And you're going to see people getting up shots at the last couple of seconds to go on the shot clock because they're defending them so well.
Steve Nash checks back in. 12 seconds remaining in the first. The game is tied at 18. Well, the Mavericks have 6 players on the floor, and you cannot do that. Great LaFrance finally heads to the bench. So the Mavericks playing for a final shot. And Exel takes it. Not a good shot. Nash. The San Antonio Spurs went scoreless the last 5 minutes and 15 seconds. The game is tied at 18 after 1. Nowitzki only 1 of 7. Duncan with 9 points, 8 rebounds. Bell leads the Mavericks. 4 of 6 from the field. He has 9.
18 apiece. Ernie Johnson here in the Green Room Magic, who knows his popcorn with all the theaters he's got here. Kenny the Jet Smith is here. Chuck is here. Chuck, you said that the first quarter would be a real good indicator of who's going to win this game. So what gives?
I like the pace for San Antonio. They want to play like that. 18-18 is great for them. I thought if Dallas did not come and jump out on them, they'd paper San Antonio. So I think San Antonio is in great shape.
Yo, Jet.
Well, I just feel that if, Magic owns a theater, it doesn't mean he has the right to have all the popcorn. Other than that, the game is pretty well. It's probably well played.
I'll give you a chance to respond to the Jet.
It doesn't matter.
He has a short man complex. He's among 2 big men, and he's all, talking trash. But if Dirk don't get going with the Mavs, this game will be over with.
Let's go back to the court and back to the commentary.
I'll get you too,
Marv and his posse.
Thank you, Ernie. Second quarter is underway. Both clubs cooling off considerably after good starts. Dallas started out 5 for 10. They've hit 3 of the last 13 now. San Antonio 0 for their last 7 after opening up 7 of 12 from the field. Here's Jackson for 3. Yes! Steven Jackson from straight away.
Well, there's some very easy keys as to why it was only 18-18 at the end of the first quarter. Both teams shoot 36%. One team is 1 for 2 from the foul line. The Trends with the lay-in after the lob pass. One team 1 for 2. The other team 3 for 4 from the foul line. San Antonio had 8 turnovers in the first quarter. That's why there's no scoring.
And I also think the defense at both ends has been outstanding. As you mentioned earlier, Mike, they're locked in to now the strength, and they're trying to take them away.
Malik Rose way off. Only 6 personal fouls called in the first half, 3 on each team. And that is a series low. A minute and a half gone by in the second. Finley launches from downtown. Bell keeps it alive. Nowitzki just 1 for 7. Finley and Duncan will jump it up.
And when Nowitzki misses wide open threes, he's had 2 of them so far, he's not on top of his game.
We talked about scoring. Look at that, 59-59 as far as combined totals in the first 2 games of the first quarter, just 36 tonight.
And the fouls are dramatically down. You see only 6 tonight after nearly double that in the previous game.
Finley and Duncan. Dan Crawford with the toss, and the Spurs control. San Antonio with the ball. They lead by 1. Speedy Claxton now working at the point. He and Steven Jackson in the backcourt with Tim Duncan, Bruce Bowen, and Malik Rose up front. Jackson. So Steven Jackson has hit his last 2 of 3 and a 2, and it's a 3-point lead.
And he split the double team in the pick and roll, and that's what Jackson gives them. Spontaneity, one-on-one aggressiveness.
LaFrance has been a factor in the starting lineup after Don Nelson went with Sean Bradley in game 2, played 6 minutes, and that was it. Now Bradley over at the scorer's table. He'll come on in a moment. Here's the double on Duncan. It opens things up. Jackson for 3. Yes, you get the idea. Steven Jackson, who is not going 100%, is playing at a more relaxed pace here tonight, perhaps because he's not feeling well, and in this case may not be a bad thing. He's not out of control.
His energy level is low. He was in bed 9 o'clock last night, came late to practice, and went right back home. He slept all afternoon. He might be right, get his feet set. He's not playing frantically.
And they may just inject him with the flu blood every game. You never know.
Trainer Will Sevingen working on Jackson feverishly all day. Here's Rose, rebounded by Nowitzki. Nash getting the step, and then Bowen blocks him. Beautiful play by Bowen. It did not appear that he had an angle on Nash, but he got to the shot.
Nash tried to come back and move into the defensive man. Right here, he jumps back into him to draw the foul. Bowen kept that space between them.
When I totally lose control, I like it.
Steven Jackson off to a good start. He has 8 points. He has all of San Antonio points this quarter, and this is a guy who has traveled the world in his professional basketball career. Originally drafted by Phoenix, on to Wisconsin, played the CBA, training camp with the Chicago Bulls, in Sydney, Australia, Venezuela, on to Israel, Vancouver in training camp, played twice in the Dominican Republic, Fort Wayne Fury of the CBA, back to Vancouver, then Italy, spent time with the Nets, and now a member of the San Antonio Spurs. Excellent production value by our staff. You can't go wrong with a man.
No, I think they did a great job, and you are now out of breath after all of those stops along the way. But you just have to love his perseverance. For the kids out there, it's a great lesson.
For the kids, I like that.
Now, he was slow on the uptake on that one.
Usually it's the Czar who's always, particularly in our late West Coast games, talking to the kids. Nowitzki, yes, but a long time between successful field goals for Dirk Nowitzki. Claxton, Jackson in the backcourt. And away from the ball, we get a whistle. Tim Duncan now sitting down. Bradley on that foul. Tim Duncan did not take a shot in 9 minutes of play.
They're facing basically the same defense that Phoenix threw at them to start the playoffs off. They went immediately, double-teamed Duncan, made him pass the basketball. They waited to see if you were a travel violation, another turnover for San Antonio. But they made Duncan have to make a decision. Was he going to force bad shots or kick it out to open teammates, and then were his teammates good enough to wind up beating him?
And I like the strategy by Don Nelson, and I really like how San Antonio's moved the ball. The pressure will be on their perimeter players to really produce.
Beverly gets inside. Finley with the rebound. Van Exel for three. Claxton is on it. Nick Van Exel has not been able to hit from the perimeter in this series. Last touch by Bowen. Just under 8 minutes remaining in the second quarter. We're at American Airlines Center in Dallas for Game 3 of the Western Conference Final. Marv Albert with the Czar, Mike Fratello, Jeff Van Gundy, Craig Sager, Cheryl Miller. Our studio crew on hand. Ernie, Charles, Kenny, and Magic. Here's Bradley getting inside, and he's called for the offensive foul.
You'll see that. Bradley tries to clear some space. He dips the shoulder and puts the elbow in to get Rose off him. There's the shoulder and elbow clearing the space. That's where the offensive foul is.
Eduardo Nahara, who suffered a thigh bruise in that collision with Malik Rose, hears it from the crowd as he checks in for the first time. He sat out Game 2, and Nahara has replaced Bradley. Once again, a cameo for Sean Bradley. Robinson comes up short, rebounded by Nowitzki. Nahara being played by Robinson. Nahara had a strong game in Game 1. It's a kick ball. Dallas maintains possession.
You have to give San Antonio's defense some credit. They've got a team that in the regular season, Dallas shot over 45% from the floor. They've got them shooting just over 40% right now after the first 2 games.
Nowitzki met by Bowen. Nice lead. Rose could not get to it. Here comes Van Exel for 3. Yes. And the Mavericks are hoping that that will get Nick Van Exel off. His first field goal missed his first 3 shots, so he is now 9 for 32 in this series. Dallas leads by 1. Shot clock to 5. Down to 2. It's a 24-second violation.
The crowd was so loud, his teammates couldn't help him out. Rose never looked up at the 24-second clock, and as a result, they get a 24-second violation. Right now, San Antonio has 11 turnovers. They're right at the bottom of the league. They're 23rd in the league in turnovers for the regular season, just over 15 a game. Already 11 here midway through the second quarter.
Nash, yes. 7-0 run by Dallas. A 7 unanswered since Tim Duncan sat down. Just under 6 remaining in the first half. Rose, he's been off tonight. Here come the Mavericks. Nowitzki. Yes! It's a 2-pointer. He had a foot on the line. He's asking Bob Delaney why too, but it was obvious. His right foot on the line. 9-0 run for the Mavericks. San Antonio will talk it over.
Mark, back away when Nowitzki made his second field goal, you said that it had been a long time coming. You see Nash get to the middle of the foul line first. They hit that jump shot from about 18 feet. But then once Nowitzki made that second shot, you knew it wasn't going to be long before the next one came. He drains it from 2.
Packed up in the Lone Star State. And on this day after the NBA lottery, I'm told that today was the last day of classes for one LeBron James at St. Vincent, St. Mary's High School in Akron, Ohio. Now, Jeff, and that the two of you could eventually be very close. Is there any kind of a graduation gift that perhaps you might send to LeBron?
I think he's got basically it all with that $90 million contract. He doesn't need any gift from one of us.
How about a money clip?
Just in case, I had this flown in today, the local section, the Cleveland area, real estate, housing, etc.
Very handy.
Thank you very much. Always looking out for my best interests, Azar. But truly, Marv, I know contrary to reports, but I've only spoken to Cleveland about 9 days ago as Robinson lays it in. Very briefly again today for the first time since I interviewed. And there's no agreement. There's no nothing. They're still in the stage of determining who they want to be their next coach. And that's where it's at.
Steve Nash knocks down the three. Yes, there was some reports earlier today. And for some reason, photographers keep taking pictures of Jeff. And every time a photo is taken, the Czar sticks his head next to pretending that he's talking to him. Nowitzki able to pull it down with just under 5 remaining on the first half. 6-point Dallas lead. Van Exel swings away and goes twice.
That's what this team can do to you. If they dig in and get some stops, Dallas, they're really tough. Offensive foul. Nahara steps in front of Tim Duncan and takes a foul without the basketball. A little up and under, get the defense up, step under, use the backboard and kiss it off the glass. Exactly what Van Exel does. That's why Dallas is so frightening. They come back at you so quickly and put points on the board.
A 14-2 run for the Mavericks. A good portion of that run with Duncan sitting down, and Tim, as you see, back on the floor. Nash using the pick. Nahara rejected by Bowen.
The defense in this game has been outstanding. The Mavericks are often criticized for their defense, but in this game, it's been outstanding. And then you saw a great Bowen block as well.
You don't normally expect to see Bruce Bowen come up with a key block, but Nahara thinks he's got a layup. Bowen right there saves it with the block.
Foul committed by Nahara. Parker and Ginobili at the guard. Duncan, Robinson, and Bowen on the front line. Parker did not have a good look. Nash, Nahara, wild shot by Nahara. Once again, the double on Duncan. They're getting the ball out of his hands. Parker did not take advantage, and the foul is called on Robinson. And he is upset.
But see, there's the difference in officiating. Robinson swings it. Here we see the block out by Nahara. They're knocked up. I don't know who that foul call is. Maybe even the double foul. But I just love Danny Crawford looking ahead. Doesn't worry about Robinson's reaction. No technical fouls. No stoppage in play. Keep it going.
Jeff calling for the double
Wants a double foul now. Now it's okay.
All right, Parker on the steal. Parker whipping by Nash. 36-30. Mavericks coming up on 3 minutes remaining in the half. Van Exel. Nice ball movement. Here's Nash, fouled, held by Parker. Only the second team foul on San Antonio.
If you're wondering why San Antonio runs out so hard at the three-point line, it's to make them put it on the floor. They'd rather stop the three-point attempt and chase them inside the line, because when you have Duncan and Robinson back there as goaltenders protecting the basket, you can make people go past you and try and attack the rim because they're not going to get a good look at it.
Play by Robinson, but recovered by Nahara. Shot clock to 6. Van Exel for 3. That's his second from downtown, and the touch has returned for Nick Van Exel.
He's got 8 off the bench, and San Antonio has 0 points off the bench so far.
Here's the double on Duncan, squeezing his way through, and he drew the foul.
Jeff,
the way that the game is being played right now, there could be a need tonight for Ferry and a Steve Smith spot-up shooters to get open looks.
Dallas by 9 as we head to break. 2:37 remaining in this first half. Oh, that is terrible. That is. That's LeBron James, incidentally, folks. On the left.
Hey, Joe.
Hey.
We can't take him to.
Hey, Michael, how you doing?
How are you?
Hey, guys, you remember the playground days? Call your own fouls? Call your own fouls tonight. We're going to trust you guys, okay? Michael, that was a joke.
Well, in light of the tight calls over the first 2 games of this series, little officiating sense of humor by Danny Crawford, the lead official, prior to the start tonight's game. That would work well. Make your own calls.
You can trust every NBA player to call it just the way he saw it. But I think, again, when you show your personality as an official in a positive manner like that, it just diffuses any negative vibes coming into the game, and they play on.
There were 72 personal fouls called in game 1, 48 fouls in game 2, just 13 to this point in game number 3.
Tim Duncan scoreless the last 15 minutes, took only 1 shot as they were very effective with the double team. Reminder, exclusive coverage of this Western Conference Final Series continues right here on TNT Sunday. Game 4 starting 8 o'clock. And on Tuesday, that's a 3 for Van Exel. The series will head back to San Antonio for Game 5. Starting at 9, that's 3 from downtown for Van Exel. Biggest lead of the night, Dallas by 10. Here's Malik Rose, back by Nahara. That's under 2 remaining of the half. Duncan defending on Nash, finds Nahara. Now the Spurs on the run. Parker takes all the way. What a move by Tony Parker.
And that's one of the things that San Antonio must explore is the opportunity to score in transition against Dallas's defense, because right now, Dallas has done a pretty darn good job in their half-court defense.
Nahara gets inside. He thought he was fouled by Jackson. Parker resets. Duncan off single coverage. He had just Nahara defending against him.
Because he caught it in the paint, a deep post up before any double team can get it there, before he's catching it off the block, an easier double team.
Nowitzki. So he's been able to catch fire. He's at 3 of his last 4.
Also, Jeff, the other thing with Duncan is he got it off a pick and roll. He set a screen, rolled, then they hit him, as opposed to just going down and setting himself up in the low post.
Jackson. Good look from Rose. Average 44, Spurs 38, 45 seconds to go in the half. Nash getting the step, and then is foul squeezed between Jackson and Parker. Foul on Parker, that is his second 13th foul on the Spurs, and that were under 2 minutes. Next foul puts them in the penalty.
One thing you look at when you pick up a box score, field goal attempts by each team. Right now, Dallas has 44. San Antonio just 36. You have a difference of 8 field goal attempts more. When you look at turnovers, you can find where they are. Just 5 for Dallas, 12 now for San Antonio. That's a difference in possessions. Even if you shoot bad, but you get that many more shots, you're going to score more points.
And to go along with that, Dallas has a chance, if they use the clock right, to get 2 shots for only 1 for San Antonio, the 2 for 1. See if they can get their first shot off by 32.
Sean Bradley has checked back in. Kevin Willis has come on for the first time. Van Exel feeling it. That's a 2-pointer. Nick Van Exel glaring at Bruce Bowen after hitting that shot.
I thought he was looking at Jeff because he heard Jeff said, can he get it off by 32? He got it off by 37 that time.
Half minute remaining in this first half. 46-38, Mavericks. Jackson for Rose. Brown wanted to travel. Willis able to punch it back out. And they get the new clock to hold for a final shot of the half. Down to 10 seconds. Claxton with 5 seconds. Claxton, that shot was deflected. And that will do it. But a good hand for the Mavericks here at home. A low-scoring first half for San Antonio. Tim Duncan with 13 points, 10 rebounds, but was held in check at one stretch. He was on the court for 9 minutes and did not attempt a shot. The story for the Mavericks in the first half, the return of Nick Van Exel, quiet over the first 2 games. But here tonight, 13 points, all in the second quarter. Let's go to Cheryl with Nick.
Nick, in the first 2 games, scoring hasn't been really easy for you. What got you going tonight?
I'm just being aggressive. I'm not worrying about what they do. I'm just playing my game and going out there and attacking.
Malik Rose in game 2 really hurt you guys. Ended up with 25 points. Defensively, you got to be pleased with what you've been able to do in the first half.
Yeah, we're very pleased. You know, San Antonio's a great team offensively, but we're playing our style of play. We're up and down, making them take quick shots, and we're holding them to one shot. That's a great sign for us.
Good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Let's send it back to you, Marv.
Thank you, Cheryl. Nick Van Exel missed his first 3 shots, 5 for 5 since then, providing a huge lift off the bench. A 24-12 Dallas run the last 9.5 minutes. At the half, Dallas in front by 8. Ernie, Kenny, Charles, and Magic. After this.
24 minutes in the books in Game 3 of the Western Conference Finals, and the Dallas Mavericks leading the San Antonio Spurs here at the American Airlines Center 46-38, trying to take a 2-1 lead in the best of 7. We are coming to you live from American Airlines Center with the Verizon Wireless halftime report. Ernie Johnson, Magic Johnson, Kenny the Jet Smith, and Charles Barkley. What's jumping out at you in the first 24 minutes, Magic?
Well, the pace of the game first in the first quarter was San Antonio's pace. Nick Van Exel comes into the game. In the second quarter, he dominates the second quarter. The pace of the game got faster. That favored Dallas. That's why they're leading the game. Also, their defense was a little quicker, too, and better.
Well, one of the things at the top of the show I was trying to say is if Nick takes these in-between shots, those little floaters, I think in game 1 and 2 he was trying to go all the way, and you can't do that against the San Antonio Spurs. And the 3-ball is always going to be there for him, so he can always get to the basket. But like I said, San Antonio has to play Dallas's style to win this game, because you can just walk in, Magic, Charles, in the atmosphere. You know that they're going to push this ball, and it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, but I feel pretty good if I'm San Antonio. This is their pace of game.
You are San Antonio, so go ahead.
I can tell you what. I can't wait to ask Richard Jefferson how they're going to do against San Antonio in the finals. But I just really, if the closer the game, it favors San Antonio. The pace is definitely at their pace. Nick came in, gave him a great lift. He was terrific, but a great San Antonio pace first half.
Surprisingly little production out of what has been a very productive San Antonio bench in the postseason. 0 for 10 from the floor in the first half, including 0 for 6 by Malik Rose. You heard Charles refer to Richard Jefferson kind of giving away what's coming up in segment 2 here at the Verizon Wireless halftime report. That man, Richard Jefferson, joins us live. Just spending Friday night at the house, getting ready for game 4.
NBA Western Conference Finals halftime report is brought to you by Verizon Wireless, the official wireless provider of the NBA.
Can you hear me now? Good.
Welcome back to the Verizon Wireless halftime report. Tim Duncan has 13 points and 10 rebounds. The San Antonio Spurs trail by 8, 46-38 to Dirk Nowitzki, and the Dallas Mavericks. Should be a great final 24 minutes. Keep it here on TNT.
The halftime report is brought to you by Verizon Wireless, the only wireless provider that allows you to vote for the NBA Western Conference Finals MVP.
He's probably the smartest player I think that's in the league right now. His ability to get his team ready to do certain things is extraordinary.
Tim Duncan is the greatest fundamental player in the game. He has no weaknesses, and he makes the game look simple. He is the MVP in our league.
Old school basketball was simple. It was passing, shooting, and defending. Today's game is old school.
Watch the NBA Finals Game 1, June 4th at 8 p.m. on ABC.
to Game 3 of the Western Conference Final Series. American Airlines Center in Dallas. An unusual low-scoring first half between these teams. Dallas with the 8-point lead. Marv Albert, Jeff Van Gundy, the Czar, Mike Fratello, and Czar. Usually San Antonio has been the team to jump out in front in the first half. Not the case here tonight. What's going on with the Spurs?
Well, normally we say San Antonio is a deep team. They have a lot of good players, 1 through 12. How about 0 points for the bench, 0 for 10 shooting from the floor for the bench people? What's happened is Dallas has changed its defense, all out double team. Duncan, make him pass the ball. Someone else is going to have to beat them, not Tim Duncan.
And Jeff, Nick Van Exel just changed the game in the second quarter. Came off the bench and took over.
After shooting 8 for 28 in games 1 and 2, he's 5 for 8 tonight, 3 for 5 from 3, 2 for 3 from 2, for a total of 13 points. He has knocked it down. He's being aggressive. He's getting his shots. Most importantly, though, he's being efficient.
Here's a look at our Jeep game summary. Dallas at 44% for the field, at 20 of 45. Look at San Antonio, just 15 of 39. Very low number of fouls, so the turnovers have been low, free throws have been low. Turnovers for San Antonio, a high figure at 12, and San Antonio not doing it off the bench. Let's check in with Craig Sager.
Well, despite the double teams, Coach Popovich wants the ball and the offense still to go through Tim Duncan. He wants quicker ball movement so they can get the ball to Duncan in a better position to score. He said the fact that we're not scoring leads to transition for Dallas. Also, the turnovers, we cut down on the turnovers. We score better shots. We'll be in this game very easily. Cheryl?
Coach Nelson said, by far, this is our best game we played at both ends. Our defensive intensity has been solid. We just need to continue this effort in the second half, Mark.
All right, thanks, Cheryl. Michael Finley not able to hit with the first shot of the second half. Craig was talking about Tim Duncan. Statistician Brian Taylor pointing out that Duncan with only 1 field goal the last 18 minutes of play. And Duncan looking for a goaltend. Roger Bell for 3. The Mavericks started out 1 of 7 from downtown. They've hit their last 5 three-pointers.
Just think about this. If things continue to go this way, they'll be writing tomorrow about Dallas's defense. Forget the offense.
Wild shot by Parker. A running hook for Tony Parker. 49-40 Dallas. Trying to find a screen that leads LaFrance. Duncan with the block. Here comes Parker. And Dallas gets back. The teardrop attempted over Nowitzki, and then a foul on the Mavericks. Bill Spooner makes the call. It is on LaFrance. That's his second.
Defensive play by Tim Duncan, changing shots, blocking shots, and that's what initiates the fast break. And then you see Duncan, to his credit, after blocking his shot, he's the guy there to follow up the initial miss and get fouled.
Duncan 4 for 5 at the line. Reminder tomorrow on ESPN, it's Game 4, the Pistons and the Nets. Nets lead that series 3-zip, coverage starting 8 o'clock Eastern time, and if necessary, Monday on ESPN at 8 o'clock, Game 5 of that Eastern Conference Final Series.
How about winning 9 games in a row in the playoffs the Nets have, and 6 in a row on the road? Jason Kidd, Kenyon Martin, Richard Jefferson, great job of coming with it every night.
And Roger Bell doing the job. 14 points for Bell, 6 of 8 from the field.
Those guys must all be free agents that he just mentioned. He's already got his pitch going.
Parker, yes.
Oh, is Jason Kidd a free agent?
You know, the shots, they come from the blind side. You never know when. Parker took a shot in the mouth. Trying to draw the foul. Nash over Duncan to try to block that shot. He picked up Nash on the switch. Jackson lost it. Steven Jackson started the game under control, but it's not been the case here in the third quarter. Off the turnover, Duncan gives it right back. What was that?
It's a long outlet pass to no one.
And Bowen broke it up, but it landed in the hands of Nash. Nowitzki for three. Yes! They are unconscious from downtown. 4 of their last 5 field goals have been from beyond the three-point line. Bowen for three. So Bowen is able to answer. He has 8 points. Second from downtown for Bowen, who led the NBA in that department. Nowitzki. Robinson off the box out. This game has had a terrific flow to it. Walker, Duncan, and the reason there has been a good flow, the tone of the officiating has been different right from the start. Very few fouls being called, in contrast to what happened in games 1 and 2. Finley with 5 points. He's been quiet after the 2 solid games. 7-point Dallas lead. 4 minutes gone by in the third. Robinson called for the offensive foul. He pushed Roger Bell.
That's because Dallas is constantly trying to front that low post. Robinson used his hands to shove him off that time. That's where the offensive foul is called. Down low on the inside, you see Robinson move into the man that's fronting him. Too much with the shoulder, forearm, offensive foul.
15 turnovers committed by San Antonio. A very high number for the Spurs. Bell. Duncan with the rebound.
Early on, both coaches said that the key to the series might be Malik Rose. In Game 2, Rose had 25 points and 6 rebounds. Rose is scoreless thus far in the game.
The rejection by LaFrance. And Danny Crawford blew the whistle, was looking for help from the outside official as Nowitzki and Robinson came together, and the foul being called on Nowitzki. It's his first.
Robinson just stood there and waited as Nowitzki starts to take off. Robinson is right there, standing there. Nowitzki runs over him. Offensive foul. Robinson doesn't know who it's going against. Then he says, you got it right.
And what I like about the officiating tonight, they're in control. It's very consistent, but it's not confrontational. It's great officiating here tonight by all 3 guys.
Oh, my goodness.
Parker for 3. So the Spurs using the three-point shot as a weapon. They've hit their last 2, Bowen and then Parker. Nick Van Exel back on the floor now for the Mavericks. Nowitzki with the head fake. Not able to put it down. And back comes Jackson. Dallas' transition defense has been very strong all night long. Duncan is fouled by LaFrance. Duncan headed back to the line. That's 3 on LaFrance.
San Antonio has withstood this outstanding spurt that Dallas has put on there, shooting the basketball to hang right in this thing.
Well, Dallas got on that 14-2 run to take an 11-point lead. Well, it's the drama of NASCAR here on 2 and 2. It all begins July 3rd. For complete schedule information, log on to NASCAR.com.
I'm building my whole 4th of July around that. I think the guy's name's Ricky Roddick or something. He's excellent. I'm picking him.
Andy Rudd.
Rudd? All right. I stand corrected. Anyway, I'm picking him.
You have no idea. You have no idea what you're talking about.
Very involved. He's actually involved in both tennis and basketball. San Antonio Spurs are within 3 as we come up on 6.5 remaining in the third. Parker, once again, a beautiful move off the spin, and the Spurs are within 1.
Jeff, if there's any of these players on the court that you don't know their name, just make one up. We'll work your way out of it. Don't worry about it.
He is relentless. An 11-2 run for San Antonio.
This has gone in spurts. Right now it's San Antonio who's got the offense flowing. Tony Parker just enough to get it up over the top and a score.
Some people don't realize how many nonstop flights Southwest offers. So we created this simple color-coded map to help. Baltimore to LA is red. Phoenix to Raleigh-Durham, blue. Chicago to Seattle, yellow. LA to Austin, canary yellow. Orlando to Albuquerque, teal. Las Vegas to Houston, aquamarine. Buffalo to Phoenix, beige umber. San Jose to Baltimore, pistachio. Oakland to Chicago, sea green. Albany to Orlando, puce. Tampa to St. Louis, pinkish. New Orleans to San Diego, kinda green.
You are now free to move about the country.
Tomorrow night on TNT. Sir. Defending the law has never been this dramatic.
You find it. Here's where it is, right here.
We beat them down. See Will Smith and Martin Lawrence in Bad Boys. Tomorrow night at 8 on TNT.
Gives me a rush.
The 21-year-old Tony Parker continues to play well. 18 points game 1, 19 in game 2, and has come up big here in game 3, 7 of 12 from the field, 15 points for Parker.
Parker taking it strong, being very aggressive, a little teardrop in the middle of the lane. Again, gets himself in a spot to hit that short jump shot, and then also shows that he can hit it with extended range now from the top of the circle after they swing the basketball. Only 6 points at the half for Parker, 9 points here in the beginning of the third quarter.
Dallas has led by as many as 11. It's a 1-point game with 6:20 to go in the third. Good job by Bowen. Van Exel rejected by Bowen. Jackson is on it. Trailer is Parker, but Jackson takes all the way. Steven Jackson leads the break, and the Spurs take the lead.
That was great individual defense by Bruce Bowen on Nick Van Exel. Cut off the first move, cut off the second move.
And that was only because Bowen had switched on it.
Jackson picks it off. Van Exel is back, and Van Exel stopped the break. Timeout call. And Nick Van Exel cannot believe that Jackson was able to call the timeout. Van Exel felt that he tied him up. And Jackson is shaken up. San Antonio trainer Will Sevening checking it out. We mentioned earlier that Steven Jackson was a question mark for tonight because of flu symptoms. Here's another look.
See when Jackson goes down, if someone dives on top of him, that's when he gets hurt. There's the ball. Parker's calling timeout before they tie him back up. That's why the timeout is granted.
The finals are coming June 4th at 8 p.m. on ABC.
They out there with the fun out there. We gonna hit out there with nothing to fear. Tear up the spot, get hot to make it rock. Always start here with the clear. Number 1, you gotta get with your real ones. 2, what you do is pop a couple of clear ones. Number 3, call up a breezy. 4, on the floor, maintain the high score. 5, feeling alive, we jump into the ride, which brings us to 6 at the venue in the mix. They out there with the fun out there, make it last out there. Always start with the clear.
Because I think he sees something on me, that's why he keeps screaming at me. Sometimes it looks crazy, people say, what are you saying? I'm just saying, I need to accept that because that's how it is with me. And he's always going to scream at me, a little bit like a father and a son,
Tony Parker with great respect for his head coach, Greg Popovich. Notice that gash on Greg's head. He said it was a household incident yesterday.
He was doing his chores. He was outside watering plants, and it was one of those
Mexican lime trees.
That was it. You know all that stuff, Tim.
Well, I'm into botany as well, and so Greg and I often share our beliefs about plants and trees. And
a tussle with a lime tree at home. Parker. The chip missed by Robinson. Dallas down by 1, just under 5.5 remaining in the third. Tim Duncan jumping out on a switch against Nash. They go for the mismatch. Robinson over to help. Finley gets inside. Rejected by Duncan. That's 4 block shots for Tim Duncan.
One fake too many that time.
Sean Bradley now defending on Tim Duncan with help. Jackson is open. Jackson for three. Way off.
So he predetermined that he was going to shoot that one. He faked the pass to the corner, but he knew he was taking it the whole time. It was a bad shot.
Parker with the steal. He saw that coming.
And San Antonio has switched their pick-and-roll defense. They're going to more switching of the pick-and-roll to keep everyone covered.
Parker doing it from inside off the dribble, doing it from outside. And San Antonio has a 15-2 run. They lead by 3. Tony Parker defending on a switch again against Nowitzki. Here's Nash. Bradley gets to it. And he was able to call for timeout, and Bradley is hurt.
Mark Bradley under the basket right now. We'll see if it was his ankle that turned over. He seems to be getting back up. But mismatches, Mark, are only good, or they only make a difference if you take advantage of the situation. So right now, San Antonio has switched all these things. Talk about small men playing big men, but that time Nash took a bailout jump shot against Tim Duncan rather than trying to go by it. Again, this is where we see Bradley go down. Right there, he may have turned his ankle, his knee. No telling what could have happened there.
Sean Bradley started game 2. Played 6 minutes, and that was it. John Nelson not pleased with his work at the offensive end. And Bradley now hobbling back to the bench. Maverick trainer Roger Hines checking him out. Rafe LaFrentz returns. Greg Popovich about to send on Malik Rose. Let's see, will they wave him on? Yes, they do. And now they say too late. And Rose remains across the way at the scorer's table.
And that substitution, when it occurs, is to get Duncan off of Nowitzki and back on LaFrentz so Rose can guard him.
LaFrentz off a pretty dish. That ends the 15-2 run. The Spurs now lead by 1. Bowen, his reverse was blocked, pops it back out. Shot clock still alive, down to 6. Parker, yes, he is on fire. The second-year player by way of France and Belgium. Tony Parker, 19 points, 13 have come here. In the third of the Spurs have a 3-point lead.
Well, you saw Duncan flash up that time. They called a foul right there, a hold called by Bob Delaney on the baseline. You saw Duncan flash up suddenly and set a screen that freed up Tony Parker. That's not a set play or a call. That's players recognizing the shot clock is down. You have to help your teammate get an escape route to get a shot off. Duncan flashed from low up high, gave the screen. Parker comes off and hits it.
Foul on Parker, his third. And now Manu Ginobili checks back in. David Robinson sits down. Malik Rose also comes on. So Rose will defend Nowitzki. Finley has not been able to get going. Duncan with yet another rebound, number 16.
And Marv, I think if Rose doesn't get it going quickly, you'll either see Robinson again or you'll see Kevin Willis.
Duncan called for the offensive foul. It's a charge on Tim Duncan. That's his third foul.
Nowitzki does a good job of moving his feet, getting to the baseline, anticipates the reverse pivot, gets there, foot down, Duncan through his chest.
Crowd urging on the Mavericks. 3 minutes remaining in the third. Once again, Parker on Nowitzki has the good look.
And Nowitzki didn't even try to back him down. He knew he had the smaller man. If he went lower, he was going to encounter Duncan. That time he elevated, brought the ball high, shot the jumper.
Nowitzki 6 of 16. He has 13 points. Spurs by 1. And a foul as Duncan tried to take it to the rim. That's 4 on LaFrentz. This moments ago, Sean Bradley being taken to the Mavericks locker room. He hurt his knee in a scrap for a loose ball. Eduardo Nahara back on the floor. Rafe LaFrentz will sit down. Don Nelson trying to protect his big man. LaFrentz has played well, 10 points, but has 4 fouls. Here's Nahara switching off to Parker. Parker with a series of moves, and it scores! Tony Parker has been electrifying. 21 points, 15 of the 21 here in the third.
He gets deep in the paint, and then he uses the spin dribble move to create more space and separation.
Finley, yes. A low-key performance thus far for Michael Finley. 3 of 8, 7 points, following the 2 standout games in 1 and 2. Duncan with lots of room. He had the open shot, but took the dribble. Dallas down by 1. Nowitzki. Greg Popovich going with a John Nelson type approach with Tony Parker on Dirk Nowitzki.
I think the switching of the pick and roll is good. I just don't like the switch that puts Parker on Nowitzki. 7 foot versus 6'1". Too much of a height differential.
Duncan able to go glass, and the Spurs lead by 1. Nahara pops it out. Van Exel for 3. And a loose ball foul on Nahara. Dallas with their 14th foul. San Antonio with only 1.
Jeff, I love this when players use the glass. It's so exciting in this game when they turn in and use the bank shot, as Tim Duncan does so well.
And I love watching those drills at the San Antonio shoot-around. 1 minute remaining in the third. Parker again. Tony Parker has put on a remarkable show in this third quarter. 23 points, 17 have come here in the third. San Antonio leads by 3. Nowitzki. Rebounded by Duncan. Parker checking the clock. 35 seconds to go in the third. Here's the crossover. Tried to step back. Took his eye off the ball and lost it. Nowitzki with Finley ahead of the field. Finley, yes. San Antonio by 1. And they will hold for a final shot of the third quarter in what has been a terrific game. Game 3 of this Western Conference final series. The series tied at 1. Parker and a blocking foul.
Good call that time. Steve Nash tried to get in front, but got nowhere close to establishing position to pick up the offensive foul.
And Tony Parker right now is exhausted. He's had the ball in his hands. He's trying to create scores for himself or his teammates. Another good dribble move. Nash a little bit late, moving his feet to take the charge.
Dallas over the foul limit. We're down to 3.8 remaining in this third quarter. Greg Popovich telling us the other day the Spurs always struggle when they don't get a strong game from Tony Parker. He had his ups and downs against the Phoenix Suns, several big ball games against the Lakers, and has played very well in this series. Bowen picks up the foul. They had a foul to give. So it's 2.2 to go in the third. And Van Exel will throw in. Finley trying to set things up, calling Nahara back. And Exel finds Nahara, but Rose took it away, and he fires. So that is the end of the third quarter. Spurs lead at 69-66. Tony Parker with a sensational 19-point third quarter, 25 points in all. He was 8 for 11 from the field in the third. San Antonio on the strength of a 15-2 run, taking the lead up by 3 as we head to the fourth. as Colt figures are. He's everywhere.
What is black mark across my nose and my eyes?
I think it was a household incident.
It's been doctored, yes.
He's watering his plate. Yes.
Hey, Mexican line can get you every time.
Fourth quarter is underway. Parker, it's a rare miss in the second half for Tony, but Rose able to get to the rebound. New shot clock for San Antonio. Parker and Ginobili in the backcourt with Duncan, Bowen, and Rose up front. Manu Ginobili, played by Steve Nash, gets the pick from Malik Rose. Shot clock down to 5. Wild pass. Bowen fortunate to get to it.
And you saw San Antonio had a difficult time against the zone that time, getting themselves a good look at the basket. They came out of the timeout. Dallas went zone. San Antonio moved it, didn't get a good shot out of it.
Nash trying to take advantage of the mismatch with Finley, played by Parker. Duncan altered that shot. Here comes Parker. Parker with the hesitation dribble. Shot was deflected. Ginobili passed on the 3. A bullet pass for Duncan. It counts. And the foul. Manu Ginobili firing it to Tim Duncan. The foul on Michael Finley.
You'll see Duncan, who has 18 rebounds, started off by playing great defense, blocking it, then securing the rebound, and then they come right back and find the big man in the low post there to finish, and now the foul line opportunity.
And what Ginobili did right there was not settle for the 3. He took it to the basket, drew the next defender, and then found Duncan for the 3-point play.
Well, Tim Duncan, 40 points in game 1, equal a playoff career high, 32 in game 2, and 23 along with 18 rebounds thus far tonight. San Antonio leads by 6. Nowitzki rejected by Duncan. That's 5 blocked shots for Duncan. Last touch by the Spurs, so the Mavericks have 7 on the 24.
It's almost like Dirk didn't see Tim Duncan coming. Every time he posts up Parker, either Duncan or Robinson are coming over right away to help out.
Nashville inbound. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Down to 3. Here's Van Exel. Did not make contact with the rim. Spurs with a 6-point lead. They were trailing by as many as 11. Ginobili able to get to it. Ginobili for Duncan and a foul. Andy Crawford, the outside official, calling a foul on Nowitzki. That's his second.
And I think Parker's extremely tired. I think he's making a lot of mistakes with his decisions right now due to fatigue.
Let's see how long Greg Popovich stays with Parker. Bowen. Rose with the back tap.
Speedy Claxton, his backup, who had an outstanding game in game 2, only played 8 minutes in the first half, Jeff.
Beautiful pass from Rose. Malik Rose on the back door to Tim Duncan. Spurs 74, Mavericks 66. LaFrench. San Antonio, as you mentioned earlier, Czar, has been an excellent road team. 27 and 14 on the road. They won 18 of the last 20. Tony Parker extends to a 10-point lead.
What was so unusual is because of the rodeo being in town this year, they went on an extended road trip. Nobody goes out and plays 8, 9, 10 straight games on the road without coming home. But they won 9 straight on the road while the rodeo was in. We'll see Tim Duncan down low being guarded by LaFrench. A beautiful pass. They attacked the zone perfectly to get a high percentage shot. Then a little pass and move without the ball. Outside handoff. Easy layup for Tony Parker.
Why jump when you can fly? Why leave when you can make an exit? Why slip when you can slide? why just drive? When you can change the way you move through the world. The V6 Nissan Altima. Fish.
There I go.
They're just like us. Only flakier.
Find a happy place, find a happy place, find a happy place!
And on May 30th,
we're looking for Nemo.
One of them is missing.
Fish are friends, not food.
Sure. Hop inside my mouth if you want to live.
Yeah, right.
Walt Disney Pictures presents a Pixar Animation Studios film.
Coming Nemo!
Pity. Finding Nemo. Rated G.
Oh, my stomach.
Nice. Tomorrow night on TNT.
Stop.
Defending the law has never been this dramatic.
You find it. Here's where it is, right here.
We beat them down. See Will Smith and Martin Lawrence in Bad Boys. Tomorrow night at 8 on TNT.
Gives me a rush.
Hey, Peyton, remember that game when you threw for over 350 yards? And that time you hooked up with Marvin for 2 TDs in the second half? What a comeback, man.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah, I noticed you audibled.
I did?
Yeah, I think you sensed the blitz because your eyes were like darting back and forth like that.
Well, actually, it was gun, double right, flip, zebra, scat, left, wide drag, X hook, alert, predictor, sprint, jolly, easy. I saw cover 2.
See the games you want to see with the choice of nearly every NFL game on Sundays. NFL Sunday Ticket only from DirecTV.
Bored with the same old wrestling? Then you need to see 2 hours of TNA total non-stop action wrestling. With legendary names, today's superstars, and the extreme athletes of the X Division. TNA, total non-stop action wrestling. Wednesday nights on pay-per-view.
It has been another overpowering performance by Tim Duncan. He had 40 in game 1, 32 in game 2. And you'd have to go back to the Iceman, George Gervin, the last Spur to score 30-plus in 4 consecutive playoff games. He accomplished this feat on the 1978 NBA playoffs Eastern Conference semifinals against the Washington Bullets. The Spurs, for some reason at that time, were in the East. Gervin with 33, 45, 33, and 35 points. And Tim Duncan is on his way to another 30-plus. 25 of 19, 4 assists, 5 block shots. San Antonio with a 7-0 run to start this fourth quarter. They have outscored Dallas 32-12 the last 11 minutes.
Mark, you wonder why they're so good defensive when you look at their numbers in the regular season. First in the league in block shots, third in opponents' points per game, third in opponents' field goal percentage. It's taking a chance to strangle Dallas's offense here.
LaFrance, 3-second violation. Rachel Franks made his return coming on for Sean Bradley, who went down after battling for loose ball. Cheryl Miller reports that Sean suffered a twisted right knee. He might be able to return. Tony Parker has been the story, though, for the Spurs in the second half. For more of that, let's go to Craig Sager.
Well, like all teams, they have conditioning drills. The coaching staff of San Antonio says that Tony Parker never tires. They said his background growing up as a soccer player, his endurance is unmatched on the team. If you recall earlier in the playoffs, we saw Thierry Henry, the great soccer player from France's World Cup, was his best friend. So fatigue may be showing, but the coaching staff doesn't think so.
All right, Craig. There's Tony Parker logging a lot of minutes. But he's hit 12 for 20, 27 points, and also has 7 rebounds. Here's Parker. Goes glass. It's all going down for Tony. Now, that was not intentional. That was not part of the bank drill. Okay, doesn't count. Okay. Nowitzki. Rebounded by Duncan. So, 9 unanswered for the Spurs here at the start of the fourth quarter.
And one reason why the switching of the pick and roll works so well is the San Antonio big men can move their feet and guard smaller players on the perimeter.
Well, Parker went last, but that time off the mark, and Nowitzki is hurt. Nowitzki is down. Now Dallas going 4-on-5. Duncan with yet another blocked shot. Nowitzki is still down. This is shades of the Malik Rose Eduardo Nahara incident in game 1. Tim Duncan scores and is fouled. And now Roger Hines, the Dallas trainer, out to take a look at Dirk Nowitzki.
Almost looked like he got leg whipped by one of the other players, whether it hit him in his knee or his calf, I'm not quite sure. Let's just hope it wasn't a twisted knee. There you see him going for it, and right there is what happens, okay? You see Ginobili lands on the outside of the knee. That could be a hyperextension right there. And then short-handed, they find Duncan in the middle. Duncan converts, is fouled. They're working on Nowitzki under the basket.
A timeout called with 7:45 remaining in the third.
Have a warrant to search your home.
TNT summons you to over 12 hours of Law and Order. The drama of justice starts Memorial Day, Monday at 10 a.m. Followed by the TNT premiere of Boomtown at 10 p.m.
Only on TNT.
It takes more than an individual to win a championship. It takes a team. Everyone working together, playing defense, leaving their egos at the door. It's old school basketball. And those who know its secrets will show what it takes to become a champion. The finals are coming. Game 1, June 4th at 8 p.m. on ABC.
And counting. The 210 horsepower supercharged Nissan Xterra.
When it comes over me, and I totally lose control, I like it.
Sure you're okay?
I've never felt better.
Rated PG-13 at theaters June 20th.
Thanks for putting it up for me.
No problem.
Sure looks great.
Here we go. Yeah, I bet this happens all the time.
Dirk Nowitzki being taken via the cart. Teammate Popeye Jones alongside this. A live shot as they take him back to the Maverick dressing room. And here's another look at how the injury occurred.
You have to watch Ginobili landing on the leg. It's right to his rear end, right there, at that position. You see the leg buckle a little bit to the inside, okay? That's where Ginobili's body hits him. That's where the possible damage could be done. Hopefully there is no damage other than some soreness.
San Antonio up by 14, 7:45 remaining in the fourth quarter, and Dallas has just lost its best player, Dirk Nowitzki.
And they gained the benefit in the last round with Weber going down. Here, San Antonio may be benefiting from a Nowitzki injury, but I'll tell you one thing. San Antonio, because of his injury, cannot let down. The Mavericks still have firepower in their perimeter. Van Exel, Nash, and Finley, they've got to make sure San Antonio does that they stay right on top of their game.
What's happened is the overhead cam has to be raised up so the ball doesn't interfere or hit it. It got caught on the apparatus that was on top of the 24-second clock, so as a result, they were trying to unwind the wire so they could raise the sky cam up higher.
That's a heck of a word, apparatus.
Yes.
When he goes 3 syllables on us,
it's a good night.
You know, once again, he's reading books. Every once in a while that happens.
You know, I generally don't like to be touched during the course of the game either. Just remember.
Would he do that again?
The punching and shoving, all that.
And by the way, apparatus, I think it's more than 3 syllables, but what do I know? 4, yeah.
I didn't want to say anything. You accused me of attacking unfairly.
Spurs with an 81-66 lead. Van Exel with the step. Nick Van Exel taking it to the basket. You know, you look back a year ago, Dallas was very upbeat. They had split 2 games against the Kings in Sacramento to start the second round. And the Kings won both games here in Dallas as Ginobili was able to score. And Sacramento took that series in 5. Mavericks able to get a split in San Antonio. Have the early lead led by as many as 11. But the Spurs led by Tony Parker in the third. Nash for 3. The Spurs were able to build to a 15-point lead. For those of you who have been watching the postseason or follow the Spurs during the regular season know that they have had trouble holding on to big leads. They have blown double-digit leads in 6 playoff games, losing 4 of those 6. But now Dallas is without their star player, Dirk Nowitzki. Nice touch by Ginobili. So this will be a very difficult task for the Mavericks.
Well, there are reasons why teams lose leads. One is when they miss a lot of free throws. And let's watch the defense here as Van Exel comes underneath. He meets the 2 dark jerseys. There's the block by Tony Parker.
Shot clock to 5. Van Exel. And another rebound for Parker.
Going back to what I said, losing leads when you miss free throws, which they are a poor free throw shooting team, when you turn it over a lot, that's a reason for losing leads.
There's the double on Duncan. It leads to a turnover. Duncan surprised that Bowen came to the ball.
Bowen's got to remember, he's an outlet for Duncan. When you take that cut to the basket, if it's not a clear look for Duncan, he had lost his sight of vision because of the double team. He assumed Bowen was going to be there for the outlet pass.
Nash. Steve Nash. And you feel that suddenly the Mavericks are playing with a sense of urgency here. They have the lead down to 10. We're approaching 5.5 minutes remaining in the 4th. Here's Rose. Stopped by LaFlex, and Nahara gets to it. Eduardo Nahara came on for Dirk Nowitzki. Malik Rose is 0 for 9 for the field. Van Exel draws the foul.
Nash, Dallas, they're in the attack mode right now. They know the crowd is behind them. They've picked up a little more energy, as you said, the sense of urgency because their main man at scoring points is out right now. They've come up with a big defensive play by LaFrenz, blocking the attempt by Rose. So the energy is here right now. Now, can they capitalize on it in the last 5 minutes?
An excellent 76% free throw shooter during the regular season.
That's an amazing statistic. And you only get to the line 3 times over 43 minutes.
San Antonio 12 for 14 at the line. It's a Dallas team that went to the line 50 times in game 1, 49 of 50 on the free throw strike.
But during the regular season, Jeff, they were one of the lowest teams in the league, number 26 in the league as far as number of free throw attempts that they shoot because they're a jump shooting team.
Backing foul on Nahara. That is his third. We talked about San Antonio blowing leads, but Don Nelson's team has been a terrific come-from-behind ball club. They have faced double-digit deficits in 12 of their 16 playoff games. And they have come back on a number of occasions. And we saw that in games 1 and 2.
Well, they have great spurtability. They can score in bunches. And again, as Mike was talking about, this is how you lose leads. You miss 2 free throws or you split free throws. And the other end.
Duncan 8 of 11 at the line. Walt Williams comes on for Dallas for the first time tonight. Don Nelson looking for some more offense, so Duncan does hit 1 of 2. Spurs by 10. Nash and Van Exel now at the guards. Williams, Nahara, and Finley up front. Finley tries the 3. Duncan with the rebound and took a poke in the face from Williams. Got caught in the right eye, and the foul on Walt Williams.
Right there, the left hand goes in from Walt Williams, catches Duncan in the face. Foul is called by Dan Crawford, the official. You know, Jeff, we talked about 2 reasons why San Antonio loses leads. Turnovers, missing free throws. There's one other one. Poor shot selection. And that was a concern with Greg Popovich that maybe he has to slow certain things down in the second half of the game to get them to take higher percentage shots.
And one of the reasons they are most likely to hang on, even when they're struggling with the turnovers or the free throws or the shot selection, is they play the best team defense in the NBA. They've got a great scheme, and they've got great shot blocking behind their perimeter defenders.
Once again, we see the ups and downs of Tim Duncan, but kept alive by Manu Ginobili. For more Dirk Nowitzki, let's go to Cheryl Miller. Cheryl?
Thanks a lot, Marv. Well, the rest of the way, the Mavs will have to go without their leading scorer, Dirk Nowitzki. He twisted his left knee. He will not return, Marv.
Not bad news for Dallas. And now the question has to be, as the foul's called on.
Hack a Bowen again.
Yes, so Van Exel going right at Bowen. So Don Nelson is going to the strategy that we saw take place in game number 1. And Bowen, who was fouled 8 times within the last 3 minutes of the first half, hit 5 of the 8, went 5 for 10 in all in that first game. And Van Exel, he tells the official, Dan Crawford, that he is intentionally fouling Bruce Bowen. But it was so unusual to see the Mavericks do it in the first half. It was a tactic that is usually used in the fourth quarter.
Well, Bowen shot 10 free throws back in game number 1. He was 5 for 10 from the floor.
Flashback to the days of Red Holzman. Offensive foul on Nash. Coaching the Knicks in the late 60s and early 70s used Mike Reardon off the bench. The rules were different, but Reardon would come on to give a foul, and the crowd would go crazy at the Garden when he'd check in. There you see it again. Walt Williams with the foul on purpose to put Bowen at the line because the Mavericks are over the limit.
This time it's Walt Williams who goes over. He looks at Nelson. Nelson gives him the signal. He goes up and fouls Bowen immediately.
And again, remember, they can do this for the next 2.5 minutes until the 2-minute mark. If they intentionally foul him after or with less than 2 minutes to go, it's 1 shot for anyone and the ball.
You'll see Don Nelson giving the signal when he wants to foul. Go get him. That's it. That's when we saw Williams run over and take the foul.
But Don was telling us that if Bowen hits his free throws, he'll go away from it. And Bowen is 4 for 4 from the line. So a 6-0 run for the Spurs, all at the foul line. Van Exel around Bowen. Met by Robinson, had to change the shot. Good job by David Robinson. Here's Parker on the open floor. Parker, Duncan with the rebound. The Spurs 91 and the Mavericks 74. Nash. And Finley out of bounds.
We've seen now Dallas trying to get back in it, has taken some poor shots. I know there's not much time left in the game. They're down 17 points, but Van Exel's shot was an off-balance one. That time Nash rushed the three-pointer.
And once again, the foul given. Walt Williams. Don Nelson staying with this tactic. Although Bowen has gone 4 for 4 from the line, only a 40% free throw shooter during the regular season. I know there have been some suggestions that perhaps Bruce Bowen, who is a good jump shooter from three-point range, perhaps should take jump shots from the foul line. Remember Hall of Famer Hal Greer of the old Philadelphia Warriors, very successful taking jump shots at the foul line.
And here's where it started. The foul off the ball by Walt Williams, and then Adrian Griffin taking the foul, and then Walt Williams doesn't know whether to foul him or not, and then finally fouls him to put him to the line.
Well, Bowen has done the job, though. 5 for 6 at the line.
You know what Bowen averaged, Mark, from the foul line during the course of the regular season? Just over 1 free throw attempt per game.
Here's Roger Bell for 3. And Greg Popovich says, slow it down. Let's use the clock.
Doesn't want those hurried, bad shots so that Dallas can run back out at him. Take time off the clock, get the ball to the guy we want to start the offense.
Duncan with the rebounds. It's very easy here for Tim Duncan. There's no size on the floor for the Mavericks. 11-0 run for San Antonio. Rose with the foul.
You watch him jump. Remember, Bradley's out of the game, Nowitzki's out of the game, so who's going to get up there? Watch how Duncan extends his arms, goes up in the crowd, misses the first shot. He just goes up above everyone, secures it, and finishes it.
Correction on that last foul was Tim Duncan. Just scored points 33 and 34, so make it 3 straight of 30-plus for Duncan.
And what we're seeing is astronomical numbers by Duncan. 34 points, 23 rebounds, and he does it in such a quiet manner. Sometimes you look at the stat sheet, and there's not one memorable play, but it's just workmanlike. That's what I love about him.
Jeff, that's impressive, but he only has about 5 or 6 block shots to go along with that.
I think that's going to be a film session tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to produce.
Got to do more.
Ginobili. Oh, he is walled as LaFrance came toppling over Ginobili.
A beautiful pass. Duncan sees Ginobili cutting to the basket. LaFrance hits him with his body while he's up in the air. Not much you can do when you're up in the air and the guy is underneath you as you come down.
Manu Ginobili, 25-year-old rookie by way of Argentina, star with their national team, standout in the Italian Basketball League, second-round pick back in 1999. He was the EuroLeague Finals MVP last season.
A little quiet the last 2 games. Game 1, he had 12 points, 5 rebounds, and in game number 2, Ginobili, 7 points, and then here tonight with just 2 points.
This is a game that has seen a 31-point swing early on. Dallas led by as many as 11. San Antonio has led by as many as 20. And San Antonio will take a 2-1 lead. But the big question will be the injury status of Dirk Nowitzki. Nice pass. Duncan for Rose. Malik Rose on the back door. 96-76 San Antonio. Dallas gives it right back. And this crowd has begun to file out. The Spurs take a timeout. We're down to 2:29 remaining in the 4th quarter.
What an advantage when you can look over the top of the defense, see your teammates cutting, and then have the skills to make a bounce pass for 2.
And now it's all Holyfield. Ooh,
You know, for $1 million, I would totally go around with Holyfield. What? What? How bad could it be?
That's all you got?
Tell it over a great tasting, less filling Miller Lite. It's Miller time.
Look at this. The ring girl likes me.
A message from the law offices of James Sokolov on mesothelioma. Mesothelioma is a rare, malignant type of cancer in the lungs, usually associated with exposure to asbestos. If you or a loved one have been diagnosed with mesothelioma, call the law offices of James Sokolov at 1-800-518-3653. 1-800-518-3653. 1-800-518-3653.
Where do you get your pet's flea, tick, and heartworm medications?
Oh, what a hassle. I take the dog, drive to the vet's office, then sit and wait.
I just call 1-800-PET-MEDS, and my pet's medications are delivered right to my door.
Wow, I paid a lot at the vet's office.
And I paid a lot less.
1-800-PET-MEDS guarantees the lowest price on all your pet's medications. Order now and receive free shipping.
The big heart that boy has. Bring it to me. Chris Noth, Jeremy Sisto, Caesar, Sunday, June 29th at 8 on TNT.
It has been a marvelous night for Tim Duncan. 24 rebounds now for Duncan, along with 34 points. Take a look at the last 4 games, 37 in Game 6 against the Lakers, equaled a playoff career high with 40. Game 2 Wednesday night, 32. Tonight, 34. So he has tied George Gervin, equaling a franchise record with 30-plus in 4 consecutive postseason games. We mentioned earlier, Gervin did it back in 1978 in the Eastern Conference semis against Washington.
Jeff, you go back to when Tim Duncan was at Wake Forest, coached by Dave Odom there. I remember Dave Odom saying, we got this guy, and it was like teaching someone from scratch all the fundamentals of the game. That's why he does things so well. He's so highly skilled, because he was a swimmer that became a terrific basketball player.
Bowen just did release that 3 in time to beat the shot clock and a loose ball foul on the Spurs.
Dave Odom was saying he had no bad habits to break, so when you told him to rebound the ball and keep the ball up high, he kept it up high. All the small things that separate players.
Foul on Ginobili. Ginobili and Bowen sit down. Steve Kerr and Steve Smith check in for the first time.
That's not a bad 11th or 12th guy. You know, you bring in shooting like that, San Antonio is able to withstand an injury much better than a Dallas team because of their great depth.
Steve Kerr spent 3 years with the Spurs. They went on to Portland, a member of San Antonio's 99 championship team. Spent some time with the championship Chicago Bulls. So the numbers on Tim Duncan, 12 of 19 from the field, 10 of 14 from the line, along with the 6 assists and 6 blocked shots. Nahara is Roger Bell. Both teams have emptied their bench. Tariq Abdul-Wahad with the ball. He is stripped. Here's Walt Williams. So Williams able to knock down the 3.
If you look at the years of experience of these guys that are on the floor now, Kevin Willis, Danny Ferry, Kerr, and Steve Smith, what a great job of putting this whole group together, understanding that veteran guys who know their roles, willing to accept for a chance to win a championship.
Kevin Willis, a major contributor in Game 1 of this series. Willis with a hook shot. Coming up on 1 minute remaining in the 4th quarter. And the major question is Adrian Griffin hits his first shot. The major question, the injury status of Dirk Nowitzki, who went down with a knee. We're told that he is undergoing x-rays at this moment. And the Mavericks tonight have lost Nowitzki and Sean Bradley. Bradley hurt himself battling for a rebound. The thought was he could return, but he has not. Here's Williams. 96-83 inside the NBA, presented by Hyundai. Coming up next with Ernie, Kenny, Charles, and Magic, and they'll have the latest on the Dirk Nowitzki injury. The San Antonio Spurs about to go up 2 games to 1 on the Dallas Mavericks. Grabbing the home advantage back with the victory here in Dallas. San Antonio during the regular season 60 and 22. Best record of the NBA by virtue of the tiebreaker over Dallas. The Spurs 96 and the Mavericks 83.
Out there.
And
out here.
Dirk Nowitzki
right out here. Out here.
Being taken to the hospital, being carted out of the arena, and they will check him out. And we might have further word on Inside the NBA. Nick Van Exel, the high scorer for the Mavericks, 16 points on that big second quarter with 13 in the second. Nowitzki only 7 of 20, 15 points. Tim Duncan, 34 points, 24 rebounds, 12 of 19 from the field. He did it all. And he will complete the night by chatting with Greg.
Well, Tim, we talked at halftime, talked to your coaching staff. They said we have to get better shots for Tim Duncan. They were double and triple teaming you. What was the difference in the third quarter?
Just started to attack a little quicker. They kind of changed up early in the game, started coming with a double team, and I kind of backed off a little bit, trying to move the ball around, not take bad shots. But second half, I was a little more aggressive earlier because the double team was a little bit late coming, and just kind of pushing at him.
Tony Parker kind of changed things around with that 19-point quarter. What does he mean to you guys?
He took over for a whole quarter there. Jack took over for about 5 minutes. He took over for about a quarter. Those guys were great tonight, all over the court.
A lot of people talked about you losing game one, losing home court advantage. What does this mean by taking it back?
Regain home court. Now we got to come in here on Sunday and try to take that away from them. It sucks that Dirk went down tonight. You hate to see guys get injured. You want to come in here and play a game all the way through. Everybody stay healthy. But that's kind of how the game goes.
All right, great game. Mark.
Thank you, Craig. Tony Parker finished with 29. That equaled a career playoff high. He had 19 of his 29 in the third. Also had 8 rebounds. And tonight a strong finish for San Antonio as they outscored Dallas 37-12. That run began late third and advanced to the early fourth quarter. So the Spurs with a 2-1 lead on the Mavericks in this best of 7. Thanks to our producers, Scooter Bertino, director Renardo Lowe, and our statistician, Ryan Taylor. A solid performance by the San Antonio Spurs. 27-17 edge in the fourth quarter to put it away. Next, Inside the NBA, presented by Hyundai. So for Mike Fratello, Jeff Van Gundy, Craig Sager, and Cheryl Miller, this is Marv Albert saying good night from Dallas. And Jeff, as you point out, NASCAR's race for the championship returns July 3rd. July 3rd. Right here on TNT. We'll take a short break, then on to Ernie for Inside the NBA.